Hey there, and welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm George, and this is Bit by Bit. Up first, Valve has made a new announcement that has rocked the console gaming world. You might soon be able to play some light gun games on your Intellivision, and will we finally get that futuristic N64 that we've been promised all those years ago? All that, just a little bit more, up next on Bit by Bit. Okay, first up from GameSpot.com, Valve has revealed a new hardware lineup that includes a controller, a compact gaming PC, and a VR-ready headset, ladies and gentlemen. So these three new systems are due to come out in 2026 next year. There's some other things that, we'll get to in just a minute, but they have not announced the specific launch timing or the pricing at this point. I think they're going to hold off on that until January or so of next year. But here, let's just get into the different ones. So first off, this Steam controller, which you can tell already is very reminiscent of the Steam Deck controls. It's got the capacitive touchpads, it's got the nice thumbsticks, the layout and everything. You can see where they got their inspiration from, and it is compatible with the PC, a Steam Deck, the Steam Machine, and the Steam Frame. So let's keep going. This is the one that has everybody buzzing though, the Steam Machine. This little cube right here probably will rival the gameplay of most consoles that are coming out. Everything I've seen seems like it'll put it out between a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5 as far as like power and everything, but because this is running on Steam's OS, it should perform really well. There have been a lot of videos from people like Linus Tech Tip and those guys who have already gotten their hands on these because they've been brought out to look at these devices. Of course, not GenXGrownUp quite yet. We're not that big, but still, every time you guys share one of our videos, we get a little bit closer. Now, let's take a look. There's going to be a 512 gigabyte model and a 2 terabyte model. There's going to be a micro SD card expansion slot. They're going to have an AMD Zen 4 6C 12T CPU, a semi-custom AMD GPU, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. So yeah, pretty solid. It's going to support 4K gaming at 60 frames per second, which will be very nice, as long as you're using the AMD FSR with ray tracing. Now, this is the one that kind of has me the most excited, this Steam Frame. This is their second device in the VR headset world, and this one looks to be really awesome. Linus had a great video on this where he showed off the fact that there was virtually no lag whatsoever, and it's wireless back to your PC or the Steam machine via this little dongle. And it uses a different communication protocol, which helps with that lag-free play. But let's take a look at some of the specs. 2160 by 2160 LCDs in each eye, 110 degree field of view, 72 to 144 hertz refresh rate, 16 gigabyte of RAM, and it'll come in a 256 or 1 terabyte storage model. It's got a whole bunch of other cool stuff with it. It's got those controllers. The strap and the headset looks really nice and comfortable. And again, like I said at the beginning, we still don't know how much any of this is going to cost or when it's actually going to ship, but we're probably going to find out sometime after the first of the year. All right, here's some new interesting news from TimeExtension.com. There's going to be a new game coming out on a physical cart for your Atari 7800, ladies and gentlemen. This comes to us from Muddy Vision, and the game is called Bernie and the Tower of Doom. And it is going to be available over on the Atari Age website. I love the graphics on this thing. That is awesome. We'll get to that in just one more second. Here's a little preview of some of the screenshots and whatnot. Now, at the 7th Annual Atari Homebrew Awards took place earlier this year, the game ended up taking home the award for Best Original Atari 7800 Homebrew, which is very, very cool. Physical version of the game is going to cost $60. It's going to have a full-color 16-page manual, 10 by 14 poster, and a professionally printed box, which will have cover art from none other than Atari Boy 2600, who is one of the longtime contributors here at GenXGrownUp over on our Discord server. So I think that's really cool that they called him out in this article. You can see the artwork right there. It's just absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. I can't wait to get a hold of this game and give it a try. I'm really looking forward to it. There'll be a link right down here in the article where you can go order your copy, which I will be using, and you can find the link to this article down in the description below of this video. Boy, it seems like I'm always catching up to cool light gun news from lightgunfanatics.com. This is something that also came out of PRGE. They have just got a ton of great articles that came out of that conference, but this one really caught my eye, and I should have highlighted it sooner, but I'm finally getting to it now. We're going to possibly get some light gun action on the Intellivision, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this cool device that's being developed right now. It can support those cool Nintendo Zapper guns, which is awesome, and it plugs into the cartridge port on the side of the Intellivision. Now, yes, that means that as of the writing of this article in PRGE, there is no support from this device for the new Intellivision Sprint, but given that that's a USB-C port, I bet they're going to find some way to connect this. Anyway, let's get into some of the details. This was set up for, like I said, playing light gun games on the Intellivision console. There are no light gun games for the Intellivision console, but this hardware that 8-Bit Widgets has built called the NT-NES is going to allow that to happen, as long as you have some cool games like Duck Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, which is a clone of Duck Hunt, of course. You can see some of the cartridge here. They've been working on 4 games. There's that one, Duck Hunter, then there's Shooting Gallery, which is another 4-player game, light gun port of Sega's Bank Panic, and another new game called Zapper Lords, which plays like a light gun version of Atari's Warlords and supports 4 players. That sounds cool as hell to me. I don't know how in the hell they're going to get that one to work, but you can see some more images here of the cartridges themselves. Duck Hunter's got that nice label on it, and of course, these are the demo carts for the other 3 games. I personally can't wait to see what happens. It looks like Duck Hunter might release by the end of this year, which of course will mean that that NT-NES will also release. Now, there's an Etsy and an eBay page where you can purchase this stuff in the near future, but man, I cannot wait. Look at that. That is just absolutely cool as hell to be able to think that in 2025, somebody's developing new hardware and software for my beloved Intellivision. All right, just a quick one from tomshardware.com. Somebody ran Doom on a satellite in space, ladies and gentlemen. Olafar Wag recounted the tale back at this summit that they did a little while ago, the Ubuntu Summit, or Ubuntu, however you say that. You guys know I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Anyway, they ran this game. They used a couple of different versions. First, Chocolate Doom, and then they pivoted over to Doom Generic in order to be able to get some visuals back from the satellite. This is a really fun, cool read. There's an accompanying YouTube video that you can watch. I just wanted to highlight it here because you guys know anytime I find some Doom content, I'm going to throw it in a bit-by-bit episode. And finally, from TrustedReviews.com, it looks like Analogue may have finally gotten its act together and begin shipping the N64, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is called the Analogue 3D, is the actual name of the console. It's supposed to start shipping on November the 18th, which has been a crazy long time. I think it's been like 2 years that people have been waiting on this thing since it first opened up. There's going to be a black version and a white version, but if you're hoping to buy it, you can head over to the console page and take a look because it is sold out, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way to get yourself one for right now. I don't know if that's because of all the shipping issues or whatnot, or manufacturing or tariffs or what, but for right now, you can't even buy one of these things, even though it was originally being sold, I think, priced at $250. They did team up with 8-Bit Do as well to create this new controller that doesn't have the 3 prongs of the old N64 original controller, which I kind of liked, but I know a lot of people didn't. Anyway, it does look really cool. Like I said, black and white versions are available, or will be available if they ever start selling this again. But if you already grabbed yours, you should be getting your email shipping notice pretty shortly if you haven't already gotten it. I'm just glad they're finally doing this, and I wonder if this new shipping news is in part due to Mod Retro's M64 that they announced at PRGE a little while ago that we covered here on the channel, because I'm sure that put some pressure on these people to finally produce this hardware. And that will wrap it up for another episode of Bit by Bit. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Can't wait to bring you another one next time. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.